Loreheads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the half-dragon Shyvana, who was released November 1st, 2011, or 11111.
Ooh, fun fact.
Yeah.
Is her title really the half dragon? I didn't even look.
Yeah.
But
I've checked it a lot because I'm like, surely this isn't it. I don't know why it's. Why is it bad?
It's because it's boring. You know what it is? Is it says nothing about. Okay, it says nothing about her as a character. It's just like, what does she do? Or it's like Alistar, and he's the Minotaur, right? It's like, okay,
right.
Well, I guess to be fair.
Alistar?
To be fair, the lore also doesn't say anything about Shyvana's character.
Yeah. Funny enough, I had big Alistar vibes, and that I think there's a lot of potential with Shyvana, and I really would like Riot to capitalize, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what does she sound like?
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got such a wide sample to choose from. You've got all of 6 lines, right? She sounds like the Dragoneers.
Nice.
I like that because it sounds like she says the dragon ears. Or the Dragoneers.
Ooh, the Dragoneers.
The Dragoneers. That's her fantasy
fan
football
group?
team.
Oh. The Shyvana fan club.
I'm going to say that's her drag performance group name. The Dragon.
Hey, I love that. Okay, let me see if I can get my voice this deep. I smell fear.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. It's really hard to get my voice.
Come get a glimpse into the belly of the beast.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right, Shyvana, on the Riot Universe page. She's a bio, a short story, and then some concept art, which just looks very similar to what she looks like now.
Yeah. I kind of would have liked to see more of the. Wasn't there concept art when they were thinking about doing a visual rework for her?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I thought so. I didn't look for it because I didn't remember it until this second. But
I will say I hate her helmet. I don't know what other people think, but I hate her helmet. So I would love to see something else.
It makes zero sense. And now having read her lore, her whole look doesn't really make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Kind of just right off the bat, she's trying to blend in with Demacians a lot. I guess, kind of. And they know something's fishy about her. They don't know that she can turn into a dragon, but they're like, something's off. She's purple.
It's like Elf trying to blend in with New Yorkers.
Oh my God, John, you're fucking right. She's like Buddy the Elf in Demacia.
Oh, now that's the fucking story I want to read. It's just her shenanigans. Shyvana shenanigans, right? Oh, man. You know what I didn't realize is that she has braids, hair that's coming down.
Oh, now I gotta look at Shyvana. Really?
It's really hard to see, but if you look at the wiki has a really good close up of her.
Is she kind of rocking a Twi'lek vibe?
I suppose, yeah, except it's hair. Twi'lek. Is it Twi'lek?
Who?
Twi'lek?
Who
knows?
The dancers in Jabba's palace.
Oh, I see. Oh. Who? Jabba?
Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, Jabba. I thought you said Java.
Yeah, it's where you drink Jabba the Hutt.
I was so confused. Yeah, I'm always distracted by her dumb thigh gap, which I've complained about in a lot of skins. Her thigh gap makes literally no sense. There's just this triangle under her vag of space. I can't. Anyway, she has hair. Yeah, I didn't notice that. And the dumbest. You're right. What's with this helmet? Where did she get it? Why is she? Is she on? Is it her mom's skull? I don't know.
That's apparently hanging in the throne room.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. I like that her gauntlet, I don't know, whatever you want to call that shit on her hand. The top one is the top half of the dragon head, and the bottom's the bottom half of the dragon head. So I imagine her going around Demacia and doing puppet shows for children.
I'm just imagining her walking around Demacia yes, I am a regular human. Those mages hate the magic.
Hello, fellow humans.
Hello, people of Demacia. Yes. Where's my belly button? That's a good question.
Does she not have one? That would be a cool detail, frankly.
It's kind of hard to tell. She has a lot of indents.
Well,
there,
you know what, Riot? Why does she have a fucking belly button, Riot? She's from an egg.
It's fucking magic, man. Come on.
No. I've seen Kyle XY. If you're not born, there's no reason for you to have a belly button. You know what? I'm really annoyed by this now, by her belly button.
I mean, I just feel like, in general, the new direction they took with her birth is a little weird.
Okay, well, let's get into it.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Shyvana was just a normal egg. Dragons exist. Woo! Anyway, people like to steal eggs for money, and the dragon Eva?
Yeah, that's what I had in my head.
Which always just sounds like now Wally. Eva to me. Anyway, Eva often killed people who tried to take her eggs, but one day a mage, who will never get a name, did succeed in taking an egg. He dipped. He traveled towards Piltover, but the egg hatched before he could sell it. Not sure why, but a dragon didn't come out. A purple baby did, and his name was Mundo.
His name was Princess Peach.
It was Daisy. Yeah, Daisy.
You're right. It's Daisy. Yeah, there's some kind of speculation. Maybe because the egg was taken from its nest. Maybe because autumn had just turned into winter. One of those two reasons is why this dragon turned into a half dragon.
You know, I think that's a holdover from one of the old bios. She has 4 old bios, by the way.
Oh my god!
And one of them, it's specifically because I think it's the 3rd one, or maybe it's the 4th one. It's because the blood moon is like the last moon of autumn, and that's what caused her to be a half dragon. I don't fucking know.
I wish they had just left that tiny thing in to help give a little bit more context.
I agree.
I was also fine with just the dragon was taken from its nest and away from the magic of its mother or something and got human juice or whatever, and now it's a human. I'm fine with that. Maybe not the human juice
all
part.
over it.
I'm sorry about the human juice part. That was my bad. I'm sorry. Retract that one.
Strike it, reverse it.
This nameless mage raised Shyvana, so I bet he's really important to her. She could turn into a dragon sometimes, though. When she flew for the first time, Shyvana's connection with her mother, Eva, was strong enough that Eva left her nest to go find her. She ended up killing Shyvana's adopted father. Shyvana wandered around a while and then eventually stumbled on an injured Jarvan IV, which we did talk about when we talked about Jarvan. She saved his life, and they became like besties for a little bit. It's clear something's up with Shyvana because she's purple. But the mage-hating Demacians kind of just accept it because she's like besties with J4. They also don't know that she's a dragon, although Jarvan does, I think. Yeah.
Despite her walking around all dragony.
Despite her walking around clearly looking like half of a dragon, they're like, she's just a lady. Maybe she's like choking a little bit all the time. That's why she's purple. Do you think people try to save her? They're like, oh my god, that woman's choking.
They give her like CPR and she accidentally spits out fire.
That's how Shyvana was discovered. Anyway, Jarvan helped Shyvana when Eva came around again, and Shyvana killed her. That's kind of where we leave Shyvana in the bio anyway, or just in general, I guess. She's found a tentative acceptance in Demacia, but this is when J3 was still alive, so we don't really know where she is now or how Jarvan... I think we talked about this in Jarvan's episode, that we're curious, like, he now really, really hates mages. He's more leaning that way, and we don't know how that's going to affect his relationship with Shyvana.
Don't worry.
Oh.
I have all the answers.
Oh, great. Was it a Reddit thread?
No.
Oh.
It's Mage Seeker stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
I'm very curious because I've not played Mage Seeker at all. I'm really curious because I'll be curious. This isn't gonna like spoil the game like for me.
It absolutely will. So block your ears if you don't.
I will take my fucking headphones off. I'll be honest with you because I've not played an ounce of Mage Seeker yet. I was gonna wait till maybe we did Silas, or we're just about to do Silas to play it.
Well, maybe we can touch on it a little, and you don't have to give it all away, John, and we can try to do a Mage Seeker episode. I know we've kind of tossed around the idea a lot, but we don't have a lot of gaming time, unfortunately. And Tears of the Kingdom came out, which is what John's been doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right.
Well, and some of us are still trying to beat Breath of the Wild, but let's not talk about that.
And some of us aren't even playing any Zelda. Shout out to Into the Breach, which is like taking all of my fucking all my time. Anyway, the bio. Yeah.
Yeah, the bio.
Yeah.
Look,
I feel like I'm I'm beating a dead horse here, but she just.
yeah.
I want connections. We talk about that a lot, and we have a connection here, kind of with her dad figure, but not.
Would have liked to get a name.
Would have loved to have gotten a name for him.
That'd have been cool.
The fact that
start.
Just so much, and the fact that she was raised by a mage. So like, all right, she's accepting Demacia and their mage hating status, despite being magical herself, and she's hiding that. But she was also raised by a mage, and I assume that she cared for that man. So that's all very weird to me. Why does Eva want her dead? I was very confused why Eva was like, my daughter, and then they fought.
And this is one of those things too,
so
where
confused.
even before Mage Seeker, we kind of get, even through the Ruination, that Shyvana's not nearly as cool with all this as she's letting on. It's more of kind of like this is where I live. I'm loyal to Jarvan. Mm-hmm. They're kind of my people, but this sucks. This all sucks.
But she didn't like grow up there, you know? Like they've kind of become her people now, but it feels somewhat recent, unless her mage dad died when she was kind of young, but I don't know when that was. I don't have a good timeline for it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes it sound like his death and then her meeting Jarvan was pretty close together.
They were really
right?
close together, yeah.
I mean, they say it as weeks as much, you know? And I think what we're running into is there's like a lot of like open questions and like yada, yada, yada that happens in this, right? Like you said, why does Eva want to kill Shyvana? You would think she would want to go get Shyvana. Why would she like... Did she even know that Eva was her mom? Maybe. But who knows? Maybe she thinks it's just some bad dragon. Maybe her dad lied to her, right? Like,
I like that. I like that a lot. And I mean, I think Eva can be explained away that she saw that her daughter had become this like human-ish monster, and so now she wants to kill her. Like, I can accept that, but that's not dropped at any point,
right?
It's funny you should say that, because that is the reason in every other bio is that dragons hate half dragons, and they just forgot to include it in this one. You know, it's. The most recent version of this had a lot more answers to a lot of these questions, and I feel like someone came through and said, hey, trim this down a little, but maybe they shouldn't have trimmed some of these pieces. You know what they should trim is they should trim all that Rinwall shit and make it into like a comic or a story,
right?
Because it's so pivotal.
That would have been nice. I liked too that there's a line in here that said, without a thought for the beast that hunted her, she assumed her half-dragon form, which was like some weird wording, right? Because the beast that was hunting her, the beast was a dragon. And then she assumed her dragon form to go hunt it back.
Yeah, right.
What is this abomination? Let me go become it and fight.
There's like some weird writing. I think it's because this got chopped up a bit, right? Like there's a bit where it's like, oh, it uses the word like it was clear, the phrase it was clear like twice in a single paragraph, and it's really weird where it's like, oh, it was clear that Eva had a connection. It's like, I don't know why that fucking exists. And then it's like, and it was clear that Shyvana was a half, dragon from myth. It's like, what? What are we talking about, right? Like there's even a bit there where it's like, oh, the land was racked by border wars, and it's like, what? What are we talking about? What border? What the fuck are we? What's happening right now?
Is it? There was a lot of times in it where I was like, is it? Like Shyvana's line, Demacians, it seemed, always looked out for one another. Because there's a whole revolution's worth of Demacians that might disagree with that.
Yeah. Man, is it this one or is it one? This is the thing, is I've read all these old bios and they're all mingling in my brain. But there's one of them where like when Jarvan shows up, they don't know that he's Jarvan. He's just some stranger, but she sees how they care for him regardless. And that's sort of what's like the inciting incident for like, oh, Demacia is cool. Like, or at least part of it. Which there's a lot in the previous bio that answers a lot of this shit, or is like better written almost in that way. So I don't know.
Yeah. Another question I had. So, finally, bleeding from a dozen wounds, Shyvana grappled Eva to the ground and broke the creature's neck upon the flagstones. And I mean, Like, I love a happy ending, but how the hell did a half-dragon who was raised by a human defeat one of the most elder dragons around?
I think at that point she had been fighting with Demacians.
Yeah.
But it kind of implied that, like, there was a whole garrison shooting arrows at her, and she just swept them aside like they weren't even fucking there.
Again, the previous bio is better because it's like they weren't just arrows, they're petricite-tipped arrows, and it helps kind of like pull Eva down into this ruin, and her and Shyvana fight, and it's like, it goes more into the fight. Like, this bio, it's like, oh, they fought, and then she's dead, and it's just like the next sentence. And then that last bio, they get a little bit more. But again, just make it its own story. This is so important for Jarvan. It's so important for Shyvana. It should, the bio, God bless it, bless its fucking heart, is it is trying to tell that story, but it's like, you don't have the space. This needs to be its own thing. And that's, I think, the big issue.
Why didn't they keep the petricite in? That makes so much more sense.
It's
she was already weakened, and it's way cooler.
Yeah.
It makes sense in my head.
It makes sense that they would have it there, especially if they were like a border area, more likely to be attacked by external mages.
Yeah.
It would make sense that they would use it against a dragon. It would make sense that it would work against it. All the pieces fit there. Would have been so good.
Even in that bio, the reason she goes to Demacia is not like random happenstance, but she goes there specifically because the petricite will help keep her hidden from Eva. And was like, that's the reason she was going there in the first place.
Why did you change this bio, Riot?
I have no idea. They just like, what if we just made it a little worse?
Right.
It's so weird.
This is answering a lot of questions, and we don't want to commit to anything.
It's not even like they're not changing. Yeah, they're not changing anything. They're just taking out important context.
Right.
It makes Jarvan look even better in the old bio because it talks about how he trained the garrison. Like, here it's just like, okay, he rallied the fucking people. But in the other bio, it's like, no, they're a bunch of peasants, and he trained them to fight and get ready, you know, which is like, oh, it makes Jarvan look a little bit more like a little leader. Like, he's a good, you know, he needs all the help he can get. So I'll just say,
he really
like,
does. God, poor Jarvan.
Yeah, I don't know where I put this note, but yeah, like the description of how Jarvan helped here was so much like, you know, imagine like a dad was building a treehouse for their kid, and they let him hammer one thing in, and the kid was like, "I built the treehouse." Like that was what it seemed like. Jarvan.
Jarvan's just telling everyone that he killed a dragon.
I fucking love that. That is great. Okay, here's something. So it says that Eva flies out once all the other eggs hatch. So does Shyvana have a bunch of fucking siblings out in the world?
She's gotta, which is especially awkward because she is. We find out, I think it's in the Winged Beast or somewhere, that she's like the head of the dragon protection crew.
I think that's Runeterra. Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is in Runeterra, she's got a Runeterra release. There's a bunch of cards, and many of them are dragon cards, and the cards are like things like, oh, Screeching Drake, whatever, generic. But when she interacts with them on the field, she gives them names. Like, she calls one Severos. Yeah.
Jeremy.
That's a cooler dragon name, I guess.
Big Bill. What are you doing here?
John was a DM for us in a whole dragon theme campaign.
And that's how you ended up with an Aarakocra named Seth.
Hey, man, don't fucking ever shit talk Seth, okay? Seth was
Never,
a fucking bro at the very end.
Also, it reminded me, the whole Jarvan, building the treehouse thing, it reminded me of our group when we were telling everyone that we had slaughtered a dragon, but we had killed a young dragon baby child.
It was not a baby
teenager.
child.
Yeah, it was a kid, though.
It was attempting to murder Killian, right? Killian? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was a super fucking bro.
We did kill a dragon child. And then tell everyone that we were just dragon
We
slayers.
went to its mother and then told it that we killed it. And I don't know what our plan was, but we did have to then kill the mother. I don't know.
We needed a lot more help with that one. Anyway, this is our D&D podcast.
It might as fucking well be. That's the other thing that's like Alistar. It's like, dragons exist. And it's like, man, there is so much gloss on that fucking statement.
Yes.
It's like,
yeah.
Because it's something that I think is pretty established, at least in Targon. But it kind of seemed more like Targonian specific.
Yeah.
In my head, at least, like...
You're absolutely right. I mean, even, again, this is the thing where it's like, Riot doesn't know what they... Again, get Mark and Brandon in a room, and the big question mark now is dragons, question mark. Right? Targon? Or are they they call them elemental here, which is like... And they even have them placed in, like, Shurima, and they mention a jungle, so it's like, oh, Ishtal. Ishtal's all about elements. Okay, cool. But you've also got a big fuck-off space dragon. I'm just saying... There's some shit with the old bios that I want to talk about in regards to ASOL specifically that I think would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's just like dragons exist. And that's the thing where it's like, oh, half dragons of myth. And I was like, what? We're already dealing with the dragons of myth, let alone half dragons? What even is that? I feel like Shyvana should be kind of one of a kind, maybe, you know?
And especially because, like, the very first version of the bio, too, like, I could see how it would be a half-dragon of myth because her conception was a pretty unique circumstance.
Yeah.
Conception.
Look, I don't want to spoil anything, but the phrase dragon fucking shows up 3 times in my notes.
And 1.5 times in the official lore.
Can I get that short story, though?
You know what?
It's not a short story.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. The only other note I had about the official bio is she has a quote that says, while she has found a measure of acceptance as one of the prince's most trusted guardians, she's left to wonder whether that would still be the case if her true nature were more widely known. And I'm going to go ahead and answer that for you. No. You're welcome.
Especially now.
Especially, yeah. Well, I think like you said, Rebecca, it's going to be a big question of like, where in the world is half-dragon Shyvana? Because they leave her here in Demacia proper, but there's no fucking way that... With how we've seen Demacia characterized, there is no fucking way you can bring a purple-skinned person into Demacia.
No. No,
that shit is not happening. Yeah. That's a no-fly list for sure.
Well, I definitely think Shyvana and Jarvan help each other out in terms of their characterization, and we need that. Use that relationship, whether it be romantic or otherwise. I don't care. I know they've hinted at that, but they're infinitely more interesting interacting with each other. Although we've not really seen them interact with each other. That's another thing that I think would give them both so much more personality. Is can we see them have a conversation? Isn't it fun?
Again, some good Mage Seeker stuff.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Then please don't spoil it for me because I really want to get into it. Because it's like you said, she is essential for completing Jarvan's story ultimately, right? This is why she's got so much potential. She's like the fulcrum around which so much of like the Demacian question, hinges. But it'd be nice to have them in a room and have something. Yeah.
All right. Well, the short story, The Winged Beast.
Sure. Also by Rayla Hyde. Did we give the credit for the bio?
I never do. But yeah. Sorry. It's not on the universe page.
Yeah, it's not your fault. Yeah, right. But yeah, both by Rayla Hyde. So this is Shyvana. She's up like north in like the border or some shit like that. She smells blood, so she goes to a fort or like a guard tower, and Tom, but spelled old timey like Thomme, right?
Mm-hmm. He can't just be Tom.
No. Yeah.
It's gotta be Tahame.
Right. This is like that. This is where the dragon name shit, like the dragon Tom, but there's a silent E, so it's cool. He's missing, and she knows the Demacian guard wouldn't go missing. So, and on top of that, it smells like it reeks of blood. So, like, obviously,
extra suspicious.
I feel like how that note was there. It was like he would never leave. Also, it smells like 2 gallons of blood.
She goes in search. She follows the blood, and she happens upon Tom's corpse and a Velex, which is essentially a chimera, except it's got a human head and it doesn't have a goat head on it, but it's got an old dude's face, and it's eating Tom. And she chases it. It runs off, and she goes ghost. She turns into a dragon to chase after it, and bites it and kills it. And that's really the end of it. The thing that's running through it is that she's almost like a vampire or like a werewolf.
Exactly like a vampire. Yes,
Yeah.
I was thinking vampire the
very
whole
odd.
time.
In that the blood is like, oh man, this blood smells good, and ooh, I just want to fucking, but I can't. I gotta focus on my Demacian duty, and etc. And there's a little back and forth with her and the Velix about that, where he's like, oh, I see the hunger in your eyes. Surely you want to eat this fucking dude, or whatever.
And then go catch some waves, right?
Sorry, you said Seth, and then I just went to the surfer guy, and
Yeah, I mean, we kind of learned a big thing about Shyvana in that she wants to eat people.
Yeah. Her life
kind
is
of
a
a big-
constant fight against her.
And this is not mentioned in the bio
instinct
that
to eat
Nope.
people.
she's constantly thinking about how delicious everyone looks.
especially Jarvan, you know what I mean? Yeah.
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 Eat him right up, gobble him whole. But, like, she does eat the creature, I think. Enough of it.
She means something, but then she also drops it into like a ravine. It's almost like, I will say, I actually kind of like the story. It's not like amazing or anything like
Yeah.
that, but I like she drops the creature in a ravine, almost as if like it's like she's hiding it, a little bit, which I kind of liked. And I think it answers the problem I had with like the Shin story last week, which is that it's in Shyvana's head, and you know what she's grappling with and what she thinks and feels, right? And it's like, that's all I want. That's all I fucking
Yeah.
want from this little color story. So yeah, it's fine.
There are a few things in here I thought were funny. I know we've talked about her purple skin a lot, so I'll leave that one out, but I did note it again here because it was like, I stay in my human form to blend in with the Demacians. Like,
You're still fucking
you ain't
purple.
blending in. And then there's another line that, so there's a whole thing where, like, before she takes flight as a dragon, she has this internal dialogue where she's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, I got to look around to make sure nobody's watching. Okay, I guess I'm gonna do it. And then she turns into a dragon to pursue. But before that happens, it says, Shyvana leapt from the window of the watchtower and landed on her feet 5 stories below. Like humans do.
I didn't even catch that. You're right.
I did because it was so like, do you think it doesn't say she did a 3-point landing, but she did. right?
She
did.
definitely did. Also, really, like, heightens the vampire vibes that I was getting.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I liked when she turned into a dragon because she starts like relishing the fear of like the woodland critters, and she's like burning shit just for fun while she's a
I
dragon.
mean, if
I
you
kinda
could turn
like
into
that.
a dragon, yeah.
Yeah, you would kind of indulge a little, right?
A little bit, yeah.
A little.
Now I have a quote from when she turned into a dragon.
Oh.
And in the fashion of Mark the other week, take this as you will.
Oh, no.
She spread her thick, velvety wings and swept across the ravine into the forest ahead.
No.
I almost fucking made a note about that, but I was too classy.
Too classy.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
They're wings.
She
They're
knew what she
thick.
was doing.
She's got thick wings.
Thick, velvety wings.
That's weird.
That
You're
she
right.
spreads to sweep into the ravine.
It's kind of getting
You
me
lost me
going.
there.
Am I into dragons? Yeah.
So is Ezreal. God, you remember when that was all over the forums?
No.
Man, that is old fucking League memes right there.
What? Did Ezreal say something about wanting to fuck dragons or something?
No,
I don't know where it even
her
started.
leg. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Like,
People like started putting all this fan art of just like Ezreal going fucking wild over her legs.
Oh.
Ezreal like digs dragon legs.
Okay, well, you know.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna look this shit up. I'll look this shit up in
We
the back.
need to
Clear-
figure out
go in
where,
incognito
where it
mode, Mark.
originated.
I don't. Was it like I don't know. I'm gonna find it. I think it was a forum post that was like, "What would Ezreal like Shyvana do, or Ezreal do if he kissed Shyvana's leg, or something like that?" And it was just like this random fucking post, but it's very funny in concept. I don't know. I'm gonna find.
I
it.
am not going anywhere near the memes channel in our Discord after this episode gets released. I tend to avoid it anyway because I'm going to be honest. I love y'all. I love you, young people. I don't get your memes. I'm so sorry. I'm too old. Yeah, I don't want to see what comes out of this.
I don't know. I've got a Reddit.
But these
post.
Ezreal memes are probably our age memes.
That's
It's
true.
probably yeah,
They're
it's
back in
probably
the
true.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were all the notes I had for the short story, though.
I think I'm
Yeah,
good.
it's a quick one.
Oh, actually, she does have a line that says, "At least I'm no killer of men." But it's kind of funny because she just killed a dude who had a man face. I don't kill men. I just kill people that look like men.
Yeah, it was interesting that she doesn't think anything of killing creatures, even though she turns into a creature herself. She is born from a creature.
Right.
And I think that's a very interesting way to go with her. But again, I definitely need more of that.
Yeah.
Her coming to term, she is also creature.
And actually, the dude brings that up.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I hear the rumors are true. You are basically just a pet on a leash.
Yeah, I liked that line a lot because I think that's a really good way to. I think that's kind of is a little bit what she is, where in these early times anyway, with Jarvan is the vibe you're getting, a little bit.
Yeah, they have a name for her. The Chained One is the specific title. Mm-hmm. I want to know who it is that's calling her that. Like, is it other weird creatures?
I wonder where that came from.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Those sibling dragons?
Who's spilling the tea in the forest?
There's a bunch of fucking horrendous abominations. Like, did you hear there is this? It's like, ooh, girl,
The forest gossip. Forest gossip sounds great.
Right.
Especially around Demacia.
Mm-hmm. Get that big slug or whatever from Morgana's shit or whatever. Says, you will not believe what fell on my ass yesterday. But the only other note I have is that the art for this is actually pretty fucking cool. I have seen a number of stories that have this style of like black and white inked art. I don't know who it is that draws them. I don't know if they still work at Riot, but it all looks cool. It's the coolest picture of Shyvana I've ever seen. So I would like, if I could ever find that credit, that would be neat because they do good work.
Yeah. All right, John. I see the words Gwen and Sentinels. And
Yeah, I figure we got to talk about some canon Rise of the Sentinel shit here. We're not going to talk about all of it. Don't worry.
Thank God.
But we're gonna talk about some important Shyvana facts.
Dog, I legitimately was gonna say I think that's canon Shyvana, right? I think we're done. I fucking forgot. Great.
No, she met Viego. We got to touch on that.
All right, so some important notes about her appearance in Rise of the Sentinels. Shyvana wasn't ruined when the group first met her. When the group first met her, they broke into the Mage Seeker compound, and it's kind of implied that she was being held there.
Oh, shit.
And the reason she turns is because it sounds like she's kind of been tortured in there, and she's like, you know what, maybe this place should just fucking be harrowed because a destroyed Demacia might be an improvement over what we have now.
How
which
did
is
I
a
miss
quote
this?
that she
What
said.
is this from?
It's from the visual not or the in-game.
Oh, I don't know if I got that far.
I don't think you.
I tried my best, y'all, but it was ruining my ARAMs.
Yeah.
Trying to read it in between games.
Ruined.
So this is the most interesting thing I've heard from Rise of the Sentinels. First, her being
honestly.
captured, and her deciding we should all just throw Demacia down. I love that.
Yeah, because like there's a few people I think over the course of the event that, as opposed to being Pantheon stabbed or anything like that, just kind of the mist was around and they gave in to like really negative thoughts, and that's kind of what ruined them. And that's what happened with her. She's like, man, why am I fucking doing this? I'm here. They fucking hate me. They threw me here. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take it down.
No, I'm totally with her. I would have done the same fucking thing, Shyvana. And does Jarvan know she's there? That's another interesting.
Unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. Have we? Was the Ruination actually good? Was Rise of the Sentinels actually good?
No, Mark, calm down.
Okay,
You stop
okay,
that thought right now. I would slap you if I was there.
You're totally right. Her being put in jail without having any Ruination whatsoever is a very nice stroke from the writers there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when they do kind of confront, so a ruined Shyvana then kind of confronts the group at the entrance of the compound and buries them in rubble, because that's what happened.
That's what you do.
Gwen frees the group from the rubble with her scissors, and they charge into the Mage Seeker vaults, which is a wild thing to read out of context. just cutting rubble, I guess.
Gwen's so fucking dumb, dude. I'm sorry if you came up with Gwen. I'm sorry. It was a cute idea, I think, but her just like, oh, I'm gonna cut rocks with scissors. Oh god.
Although to be fair, I feel like the person who developed Gwen probably had no idea she was going to be used like that. She's going to do these cool things with these fucking spectral scissors, and they're like, I'm gonna cut rocks.
They're like the Oppenheimer of what League. No, okay.
I'm too dumb. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It wasn't a good reference anyway.
I bet it was.
No.
I'll Google it. It was probably just too smart for us.
Now, finally, the group manages to corner Viego, but before they can actually harm him, Shyvana attacks, and then at Vane's provocation, she transforms into a big dragon, and the Sentinels are forced to fight her in her draconic form. Viego escapes, obviously, because that's what he does, and the Sentinels subdue Shyvana. Senna stops Vane from killing Shyvana, and they agree to just imprison her within the Mage Seeker's dungeon until she returns to normal.
I'm sure they went back for her. Definitely, right? They definitely went back for her, right?
I mean, don't worry, she'll get out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna say is like, okay, imagine like a chalkboard, a scoreboard, right? And there's like 1 billion in like why Rise of the Sentinels is bad, and there's like one little mark for why it's good. I think we're just gonna erase that little mark right now.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
So
they
close.
came right back around.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I see you have a whole page on Mage Seeker, John.
Okay, now, if you do not want Mage Seeker spoilers, I'm going to keep this to... I'm gonna say... hold on, I need to get a timer out so I can give you an exact time. Can I get a timer on your phone, maybe?
Sure.
I'll try and keep it to exactly 2 minutes.
I will legitimately
Sorry.
take my headphones off. I am saying I haven't eaten today, and I just drank some gin, so I'm a little loosey-goosey.
I'll give you a thumbs up when it's time to put them back on again.
You can take the earmuffs off or put them back on, as it were.
All right, I'm going to start. Feel free to take your headphones off now.
Okay. Oh, this is so weird.
Okay, so if you don't want spoilers, skip ahead 2 minutes. In The Mage Seeker, Shyvana tells Jarvan that demonizing Silas will not bring peace to Demacia, and she believes Jarvan's giving too much power to the Mage Seekers, but he trusts them implicitly. So she tells him he wouldn't if he saw them through her eyes, noting that they want a Demacia where people like her are hunted for simply having magic in their veins. So Jarvan tries to reassure that she'll always have a place at his side, but she responds that the king he is becoming would not look good with a dragon beside him. Later in the story, Silas kills Eldred, who's the head of the Mage Seekers, and guards begin to surround the office, so Silas has to escape through the rooftops, but he's intercepted by Jarvan, who traps him in a stone circle. Then Silas overpowers him, but then Shyvana comes to his aid, and then, Shyvana Silas beats her too, but she erects a big flame barrier, so he can't kill Jarvan. But then Jarvan appoints Wisteria as the next leader of the Mage Seekers, and she suggests just executing mages. Instead of putting him in jail. So Jarvan believes that would be kind of too extreme, and they should just keep imprisoning him. But Wisteria counters by saying that, hey, Silas has been recruiting from our prisons, so let's just fucking murder him instead. Garen is horrified, arguing that Lux and Shyvana would be executed if he approves her request. However, Jarvan agrees that the rebels recruiting from the prisons is an issue, but promises to protect Lux specifically if she returns home.
So she's okay.
Yeah. So Shyvana's like, fuck this, and decides to leave after Jarvan approved that request. He tries to convince her to stay, promising he'll protect her too, but Shyvana's like, no, there's no future for me here. This is a fucked up path you're taking. Jarvan doesn't think he can be king without her by his side, so Shyvana asks him to leave with her, but he can't abandon his people, so she tells Jarvan, you don't have to become a ruthless king. But before she leaves, Shyvana tells him no transformation is forever, and proceeds to morph into her dragon form and fly away. And then, as Silas is making his way to Wisteria, oh god, I'm a little over. Okay. As Silas is making his way to Wisteria, he sees Shyvana raining fire against the Mage Seekers. So now she's actively fighting against the Mage Seekers with the rebels. And then at the very end, he tells Darren about the decree from his father and how he destroyed it. So he talked about that with Jarvan and all that. But he's like, oh no, I made a terrible mistake. So he pens a decree abolishing the Mage Seekers and declares certain cities safe havens for mages governed by Lux. and he promises to protect the magical beings and declares any who still support the Mage Seekers his enemy, hoping that Shyvana will one day come home. And in the end, she does.
Man, I cannot believe that Jarvan and Shyvana kissed each other on the legs that whole fucking game.
Right? I thought it was going to follow Silas, but...
Nah, all leg shit. Interesting. Well, I'll be excited to play it and then come back and listen to that bit and be like,
yes,
in the
I will
know.
say, without specific spoilers for you, Mark, it answers a lot of questions we had, not just for Shyvana, but also for Jarvan. We had a lot of questions about Jarvan that were like, oh God, like, who the fuck is he becoming? And they dive in.
Dope. That makes me actually genuinely more interested to play the game, I will say. I hope it's not too weird that I took those headphones off. I just want to...
No, it's cool. You know, experience it like you want to experience it, man.
Yeah.
Now, finally, she's mentioned in a few stories. For Demacia, she's not mentioned by name, but she's described as Jarvan's enigmatic companion. And then in the Exemplar of Demacia, which is a Jarvan bio, we just see the fight from the fight with Eva from Jarvan's perspective. So, you know, along my line of how he really wanted credit there's a line in his bio that said, the fell creature was slain by Shyvana, but it was the prince's leadership that held the line.
Pretty cute.
Now, I got some original bio stuff here, and I think you've got some of the next versions too, right?
I think so. So like I said, I found 4. I don't know what count you ended up with. I've got 2 where there is the League and then 2 without. And the most recent one is pretty similar with a few key changes.
Yeah, so I got one of the League ones. I don't know which one. Basically, this is where Shyvana was born to a simple Demacian farm girl and a celestial dragon.
Yeah, it's very like Zeus in that way.
Yes.
Where it's like, he comes and then he's gone.
He fucks right off.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the whole League thing for this one, it says, facing mortal danger at the business end of an angry mob, she was rescued by the traveling noble Jarvan Lightshield.
Jarvan Lightshield.
The noble was a man who strangely knew exactly what she was. They don't explain that, and took her under his wing. It wasn't long before she was offered a chance to use her natural skills in the service of Demacia, as Jarvan initiated her as one of the elite guard. Following Jarvan into the League of Legends was only natural.
Yeah. You know what I like about that bio is that her family dies in 7 words. It's not even a full sentence. It's like, her family killed in a disaster.
She's killed in a disaster. The writers were like, well, she can't have a family, right? They gotta be dead.
Yeah. Right? And in that version of the story, too, it's basically like everyone in the town wanted to kill her, but, like, you know, her family was there. And then as soon as her family was out of the way, they're like, all right, guys, let's fucking get her.
Beat her up. I love
I'm gonna kiss her legs. Wait, what? That's real. What are you doing here?
Yeah, the other League one I have is pretty similar. There's still dragon fucking. The big difference is that in that one they introduced the idea that dragons hate like half dragons, and so that's kind of there's still this like I don't know, rendezvous between a human and a dragon that causes her to be born, but the dragons are out trying to kill her, and Jarvan saves her again. Yeah. Now the third one I have still has dragon fucking in it, and it's mostly the same. But the fourth one, they change it up. The fourth one's the most recent, and it's got a few key differences. So, like, okay, for example, the reason she's a half dragon is because an upstart mage came to steal the egg, did not, but him like being around it, he like put his human essence into the egg, and that's what caused the egg to be fucked up. And then when she was born, okay, so the other big thing between a lot of these is that her dad is not some adopted human mage guy, but a dragon who is instead kind of protecting her from her own mother. And that's the case in this bio number 4, we'll say. It's actually got like echoes of, I guess it's the same writer as Kayla Morgana. It's got the same like echoes of Kayla Morgana, where she's born. Eva is like, oh fuck, it's a half-breed, I'm gonna fucking kill this thing. And then her dad is like, no, and saves her and absconds with her off to Demacia, right? Kind of same things going on. The other interesting thing about the other interesting thing about that too is that, like, instead of dragons just like, dragons exist, don't worry about it, they're like, no, dragons, like echoes of like the power of like the world runes is what kind of is the power that is in the dragons, and they've got like, that's why they're elemental. There's like these runic powers that are kind of handed down from dragon to dragon, and that's also what links Shyvana and Eva. That's like that runic power, which is what is in Shyvana, is also in Eva, and that's what kind of links them. And I like that because that also links them to Aurelian's soul. And then, hey, Demacia Targon, you can get some interaction there. And then, like we talked about, she goes to Demacia to hide more, and the Rinwall fight's more in depth, and it makes, it's... I recommend that bio. Is your cat kicking around?
He's shoving his head under my ass. I don't know why. God, between him and Poppy, everyone's trying to crawl into my body. She's so clingy lately.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the old lore I found was this old bios. It seems like Riot doesn't quite know what they want to do with dragons in Runeterra, because in Runeterra, dragons are around, but they seem to just be fucking up Demacia a lot. I don't quite know why. It's like this big fuck off dragon named Catagrin showed up, and then all the dragons started fucking up Demacia. Which I kind of
see that a little bit in the Demacia, or like the Garen and Fiora cinematic for Legends of Runeterra. That big dragon that's just attacking Demacia, and it's never explained why. Or
I would kind of like that. I like that because I would like more reasons to help explain why Demacia is the way it is. And if they're like, yeah, the Rune Wars happened, and on top of that, we've got these big fuck off like magical dragons who are constantly fucking us up. It's like, that's why they're so, fuck everything around us. You know what I mean? They're constantly under threat, and so it has caused them to become the way they are. So I don't know. I would like that maybe if they went with that.
Yeah. But, now, in terms of canon, all we have left is a cinematic, which is also tied to the Ruination. It's just called Before Dawn. This is where we actually get to see the fight between Drew and Shyvana and Vayne. She just fucking wrecks Vayne, and Vayne needs to be bailed out by Lucian and Senna, and the three of them work together to defeat her dragon form, and then she turns back into her non-dragon form. I almost called it human form. Clearly not human form. The non-dragon form. And again, Vayne tries to kill her, and Senna's like, excuse me, bitch? No. And that was that.
Yeah. Put her in the Mage Seeker dungeons. She'll never escape from there. Yeah.
You want to hear about some AUs?
I do.
There's not a ton, so...
Because I'm looking at this one skinlet.
I'm trying to think what skin you might be looking at. I'm trying to remember what skins she even has.
Right.
Tribal?
All right. She does have some shit like that.
I was looking at Bone Claw.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Bone Claw.
So first off, we're going to go Legacy. Treasures from days long past, glimmering just within reach. And she has two skins within this. Iron Scale Shyvana and Dark Flame Shyvana, although Dark Flame does have a little lore blurb. With her humanity burned away by the Dark Flame, Shyvana wreaks havoc upon the battlefield. It is said that any enemy touched by her flame will have their very soul incinerated by its dark magics. It's pretty metal.
That's pretty cool.
Mark is unimpressed. He doesn't care about your soul-sucking dark magics.
I got distracted by her fucking hair again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Well, then I feel like the Bone Claw Shyvana's going to have even more distracting
Certainly
hair.
not distracted by her hair.
Gargantuan monsters, aroma
yeah, they
land.
are.
Stalking their prey with frightening precision. Humans would surely become their next meals if not for the hunters. Armed with blades crafted from the bones of their first kills, with instincts that rival the most fearsome of beasts, the hunters protect their people each day from a grisly fate. This one is Bone Claw Shyvana. Many hunters claim Shyvana holds an unfair advantage when it comes to slaying the giant beasts that roam the land. Shyvana herself cares little about their opinions, preferring instead to channel her rage into her true form, a massive fire-breathing dragon, which proves the hunter's point.
Can I say, if you like Bone Claw, you're gonna love Ice Drake Shyvana.
And that brings us to Black Frost.
It's not really.
The Ice Witch lets none slumber. Each fallen friend and foe in her domain rises anew to fight by her side. Her dark magic twists their appearance, creating glacial golems with hearts of black, unmelting ice. You know, unless you go a little bit south, in which case I'm sure their hearts would melt. And this one's Ice Drake Shyvana. From the desolate reaches of the north, a dormant drake lay in rest. Upon Shyvana's arrival, this behemoth awakened from its slumber and imbued her with the power of the frozen wastes. Now she stalks the tundra, searching for any foolish enough to cross her path.
Dude, ice. Shyvana, but she's ice.
Ice. Yeah. And also there's an ice dragon there. We'll never learn more about it. And we've got the Ruined King, you know, technically canon. The harrowing spreads its black mist across Runeterra, corrupting indiscriminately. Some in its presence are swayed to follow the Ruined King, believing their goals aligned. But Viego wants only the return of Isolde. He has no allies. The Ruined who aid him in halting the Sentinels are merely pawns in a broken-hearted lover's game. This one's Ruined Shyvana. Shyvana's ruination brings a newfound darkness, as well as clarity. Turning swiftly against Demacia for its persecution of magic and sinking into her more draconic emotions, she appears as an avenging beast of old, ready to topple Demacia for its ignorance. And this must also have a Legends of Runeterra, because there's a level up. There's some level up quotes here too. The people of Demacia had always treated Shyvana with distrust and suspicion, as if she might at any moment shed her humanity and turn on them. It wounded her deeply, and stoked the fire of her rage. If it was a monster they wanted, then a monster she would be.
Y'all skin, though.
It's like this whole thing gives me vibes of that, the Burn It All Down world song.
Oh, yeah.
If the people want fire, maybe it's time they meet their dragon. And finally, we got Super Galaxy.
Man, she does not have a lot of skins.
No.
She does
for being
not.
out for so long. She went for like 5 years without having one.
Yeah. Emergency broadcast. All channels. The Galaxy threat level has been raised to Crimson. Redacted is under attack by Redacted. HQ estimates Redacted hours before total destruction, with collateral damage likely on neighboring systems. Super Galaxy activate. This one, Super Galaxy Shyvana. By far the most experienced of the entire Super Galaxy team, Shyvana is the leader her teammates sorely need. A transfer pilot from a different, but just as hyperbolically named, defense force, she does sometimes find herself at odds with her allies as much as her enemies, and periodically questions if the 10% salary bonus was actually worth it. And this one has that little blurb called Super Galaxy Activate, which I will read.
You have read this so many times.
I must have read it 3
Fizz?
times, right? Fizz and Kindred?
Yeah.
Or this will be the 3rd?
Must be. And then you get to read it again for Vi, I guess.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Vi. Report. A monster's destroying downtown. Shyvana. Suit up, team. Touchdown in 5. Fizz. My trident will stab the sky. That's what... What does that mean? Powering up! Ah! Kindred, why is it yelling? Please, please, stop that. Ah! Power infinite! Ah! Establishing connection. Neon Strike Enforcer. Guys, I could really use some help with this monster. Wait, who's yelling? Look, listen, we're working on it. Silence, space fish. We have to stop this abomination from destroying the city. Almost done. We also want to yell. All right. Nope. Forget this. This team is the worst. Should have just joined Neon Strike. Connection terminated. Hello? Guys? Hey! Well, shit. There goes another fucking skyscraper. Baron Nashor. So, are they coming? Dude, shut up, man.
Somebody's coming, that's for damn sure.
I know, I can't. I always forget the almost done. I just erase it from my brain every time. And then,
it's like a treat.
You put it back.
Get to experience it all over again.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people would pay good money for that.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is brought to you by...
Now I've got some fun facts. Just a handful, not too many.
Let's go.
All right.
Shyvana's voiced by Karen Strassman, who also voices Cassiopeia, Fiora, and Zyra.
Oh, so they're like, we need a serious lady.
Yeah.
Serious, sexy lady.
Shyvana's dance references River by AKB48.
No clue.
No, I can
Couldn't
picture
tell
her
ya.
dance, funny enough, but I cannot picture... I don't know what that is.
AKB48?
Yeah.
My guess is K-pop, but I'm not sure.
that's
And
a
I'm
good-
sorry, please don't come for me if that's what it is.
They've got great dances. And Riot steals a lot of K-pop dances, so it tracks.
No, homage. They
Homage.
reference.
Right. Yeah. Shyvana's one of 14 champions that have an ability that infinitely stacks an effect. Which, in case you weren't aware, it is her, I think it's her passive, I want to say. She gets more armor and magic resist the more dragons her team has slayed.
Oh, really?
Both elemental and elder.
Damn. Interesting.
It's been a fucking minute since I looked at Shyvana's abilities then.
Right. I
Goddamn.
only play her in ARAM, and we're not slaying a lot of dragons.
Great. Great. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Dragon's Descent is the only non-toggle ability in-game without a cooldown. Or at least it was before Zeri. The wiki hasn't caught up to the fact that Zeri has been released yet, but I know.
I think a lot of people know.
Wow, John. You got a lot of inside info on these champions.
Shyvana is one of only 5 champions with a transformation ability. And she was the first champion since Kog'Maw to not feature a league judgment after they were discontinued, except for randomly Varus.
Huh.
They just kind of skip seed.
Weird. Maybe the things were
Maybe
very
that's
tumultuous. They're like,
Yeah.
maybe we'll go... Like, there's like a week where they're like, okay, we're going back to the league. No.
We can't be without it.
This feels weird. Huh. That is weird.
Those are all fun facts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
They were fun.
Thank you.
How do we feel about Shyvana? I feel like I said everything that was on my...
Just bring back the second to latest version of her bio. It would make us so much happier.
Yeah.
I feel like so much stuff that we were unhappy about is fixed in that.
It really would fix a lot. I said it at the outset, right? Got a lot of potential. She's positioned to do a lot of storytelling, and there's even stories in the bio. Just pick the Renwall story and write it, please. It could be pretty cool. You got 2 dragons fucking fighting. It's cool, man. It's a easy win. And yeah, I think, like I said, she's in Runeterra. We talked about most of it, but she's in this group. They're called like the Dragon Guard. They defend against dragons on the borders. They reminded me a ton of like Quinn and her Ranger Knights. And I was like, just sounds like another group to add to this big coalition of like mage sympathetic Demacians for when the country eventually balkanizes. Who, like it makes sense, right? They know she's a dragon and they think she's cool and they fight dragons. So it's like, they would probably be buddy with like Lux and all them, when they hear that J4 is going nuts or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, that was Shyvana.
Yeah, Shyvana.
Thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitter. It's @LoreHeads. And we have a Twitch, twitch.tv/LoreHeads. We stream on Saturdays. John does TFT and then ARAMs with viewers. He's very good at TFT. If you want to watch him play or play with him, he can give you tips and whatnot. And then we also do a stream on Monday. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's John. We don't know. It was John last time. We'll see. And then with that, we'll just play random things. That's not with viewers. Just chilling, hanging. John did PBE last Monday, I think.
Yeah, hopped onto the PBE to try out the new TFT set.
Yeah.
Cool as hell.
Mm-hmm. We have a YouTube. We post some clips there as well as videos of the episodes. And we have a Discord if you want to check out what weird memes came out of Ezreal kissing Shyvana's legs or something. I don't know. You can join our Discord. We have a Patreon as well. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Madarta tier patrons. Big Man Gnomes, Chloe Things, King of Hearts, Kiss Me Mark, Shupa Moustache, The Gooch Slammer, and Trideca. If you were a dragon being imprisoned in the Mage Seeker compound, I would break you out. Easy peasy.
Oh, damn.
It sounds pretty easy, to be fair.
Also, we have merch.
Oh my god!
Oh,
yeah. I was gonna
yeah.
actually say we need to do a merch, record a separate merch announcement for the beginning of the episode. But we'll also mention here, please, we have merch. It's bonfire.com/League of Loreheads. That's the link, right?
No idea.
Oh my god!
And I've tried to search for it on Bonfire too, and it doesn't pop up immediately. Maybe it will now that some people have purchased some things, but it didn't before. But if you want the link to our merch, it's on our Twitter. It's on our Discord.
Just throw
and
money
it's
out
about
the
to be
window.
read out loud.
In T minus 5.
About
3.
Potentially.
I put in Bonefire by accident. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's a different website entirely. Our merch is not on Bonefire. You're going to find
it's Bonfire, bonfire.com/League of Loreheads.
Okay, you were right.
Yeah, I was right. We've got some designs on there, some Mud Town, some normal boy and Runeterra shirts, and girl and person in Runeterra. Fun little logo, things like that. And we're going to be posting more here and there.
Yeah, I think we've got a new one we're going to post pretty soon.
I know, I just keep forgetting to do that. But yeah. Shirts and sweatshirts.
Check it out.
Check it out,
yeah.
Yes, and please be sure to join us next week for a very short episode, I believe, as we talk about the Mad Chemist Singed.